Valentina,
Yes.
would you do me a favor? One of my constituents, Fatima Perez, who is going to be speaking shortly after me, sent my daughter over. She's blind, so she's worried. Will you keep an eye out for her and make sure she gets in? They think she's able to get in now, but I don't see her name anywhere.
She's definitely your representative.
Okay, great.
Yes, I'll let her in
Just
soon.
about her, my daughter ran over to her home to try to help her, so thank you. Thank you,
Of course.
Valentina.
Of course.
Valentina, you ready to get going?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the GA's public hearing, final public hearing of the session for the time anyway. Today, Monday, March 29th, 2021, 11 a.m. One bill for review, House Bill 6652. Any comments from the rank members before we begin?
I'll just say good morning, Mr. Chairman, and welcome to the folks on the committee and everyone who's going to testify with us today and the people watching. And I look forward to a good public hearing. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Sampson. Representative Perez, any comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No comments, just welcome everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. To begin, the first person signed up, Representative Kathleen McCarty, State Representative from 38th District. Representative McCarty, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you very much, and good morning, Chairman Flexer, Fox, and ranking members Sampson and Mastro Francesco. It's truly a pleasure to be here with all of you this morning. Thank you, Chairman Fox, for mentioning who I am. For those of you who don't know, I'm Kathleen McCarty, State Rep from Waterford and a portion of Montville. And I am here today to talk to you about two subdivisions in House Bill 6652. The first is in Section 2, actually, Subdivision 96, which asks to create a week of awareness for advanced directives in the month of April. It would go from the 16th that week of the April the 16th. And I asked for this. The request came from a constituent of mine whom you will hear from a little later today, but an advanced directive gives direction from an individual before they become incapacitated or they're no longer able to direct what they would care for their medical care. So it's a legal document and it's written in advance, as I said, to give notice of how they would like to be treated medically. And this document is prepared. I think it can be given to the family members, to the healthcare providers, and it really does save the families from a lot of anguish and decision making at a critical stage in someone's life. So it gives peace of mind. It offers a clear decision on how to treat the person. And so my constituent had gone through a situation with his family where there was no advance directive in place, and it created much anguish, disputes within the family, and a lot of heartache. So he'd asked me if I would please work to continue to build awareness about the importance of advance directives, and you will hear from him a little bit later. The form can be downloaded from the Attorney General's office, and it does need to be notarized, but it can then be presented, as I said, to family members and healthcare providers so they understand the importance of the advance directive. The second subdivision that I would like to talk to you about is in it's Section 100, and this to me is a very important date, and you'll learn why after you meet Fatima Perez today. This bill is about creating May 13th as Xeroderma Pigmentosum Awareness Day, and if I can, I'll refer to it as XP. It's easier to say it. But this is a very rare skin genetic disorder, which is inherited, but it is an absolutely devastating disease. And while it cannot be prevented, education about the disease can certainly help individuals. And the person you're going to hear from today, Fatima, is the most remarkable, inspirational individual that I have ever met in my entire lifetime. This woman is absolutely remarkable. The disease rendered her blind. She cannot have any exposure to sunlight of any sort, no UV rays can hit this woman, any part of her body, her eyes. She has to take hours to get dressed, to leave her home, to go outside if she needs to go to a medical appointment. But she created in her basement of her home this nonprofit organization, which is entitled Grupo Luz de Esperanza, Group of Light and Hope, and her whole life has been devoted to helping individuals that have this skin disorder. And she's just so remarkable. And many days I think, oh, how do I go on? How can I get through this day? And then I think of her and I'm totally inspired. I call her, as have others done, and this is meant in such an endearing way. To me, she is truly like a Mother Teresa and Helen Keller of our time. She went to the Dominican Republic and sat with a young boy who was dying of this disease and stayed with him for many days. She gives selflessly of herself all the time. I cannot speak more highly of Fatima Perez and the tremendous work that she is doing to raise awareness about this very rare skin disorder. And so I cannot thank you enough, Government Administration and Elections Committee, for raising this notion and designating May 13th as Zero Derma Pigmentosum Day. It actually is Fatima's birthday, so she is absolutely thrilled by this, and you're going to understand what I'm saying when you meet her in a few minutes. She's a remarkable woman, and I'm so pleased and honored to call her my friend. I met her through my legislative work, and we've become very close, and I hope that we can get this day in her honor, and we continue to build awareness of this genetic disorder here in our state, throughout the nation, and internationally. So thank you very much. It's a pleasure, as I said, to be here with all of you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative McCarty, for your advocacy on this issue, very important issue. Any questions or comments for Representative McCarty? See none, thank you for being here today, ma'am. Appreciate your time, appreciate your advocacy.
Thank you all, and have a good day. Thank you.
Up next, number 2, Joan Leonard, followed by Fatima Perez. Ms. Leonard, I believe you're on mute still.
Can you hear me now?
You can, yes, ma'am. Okay, please begin.
Can you hear me now?
You can, yes.
Thank you. I'm Joan Leonard, the Connecticut advocate for returned Peace Corps volunteers. I served in Kenya from 1969 to 1972 with my husband, and I'm speaking today in support of HB 6652, an act which would designate March as Peace Corps Month. March and the 1st of March is the 60th anniversary of the Peace Corps, and 3,595 nutmeggers have served in the Peace Corps since its inception in 1961. 83 Connecticut people were in the field, Connecticut volunteers were in the field before the pandemic. All 7,000, little over 7,000 volunteers had to be evacuated because of the pandemic. It should be noted that the entire Connecticut delegation federal delegation has been pro-Peace Corps, consistently voting for Peace Corps funding, which this year is requested for $450 million in the House and Senate. That's 450 million, not billion. It's less than we spend on the military bands, although I love the Coast Guard band. So I think it's fitting that the state as well recognize the Peace Corps, especially in this 60th anniversary year, and that the Connecticut House should express its support. Peace Corps has a special connection to Connecticut. Senator Chris Dodd, a Democrat, was a Peace Corps volunteer in the Dominican Republic, and Republican Chris Shays, former representative, a Republican, is a former Peace Corps volunteer with his wife from Fiji. So the Connecticut volunteers have a bipartisan history in Connecticut. And like I say, the 7,000 volunteers, including the 83 from Connecticut, have been evacuated, but we plan to redeploy the Peace Corps volunteers to their countries. All 60 countries that have Peace Corps volunteers have asked for us to return. And our plan is to return them to the field late this year or early next year. Of course, health and safety of the volunteers is our first wish, but we really believe that Peace Corps presents the very best face of America to the world, and it's more important today than ever that we do that. So I'm hoping that Connecticut will launch this move to make this month, March, in lieu of the 60th anniversary year, to designate it as Peace Corps Month. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Leonard, for your testimony. Any questions or comments for Ms. Leonard? So, thank you for being here today, ma'am. Appreciate your advocacy and your testimony this morning. Thank you. Up next is Fatima Perez, followed by Athan Tasoulas. Ms. Perez, I see you're with us. If you're able to activate your microphone and camera, that'd be great. Ms. Perez, if you're there, if you can activate your camera and your microphone, that'd be fantastic. I think we may proceed on to Athan Tasoulas number 4. We'll come back to Ms. Perez. Athan Tasoulas, wait, hang on a second. There she is. Hang on a second.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now your video. Video? Oh, el video ahí, usted le da ahí. El tenis, pero dámele así. Hágalo usted mismo, ya está marcado ahí. No, yeah, this one. There we go. Okay.
Good morning, Ms. Perez.
Hello. Good morning.
How are you?
Good morning. I'm very nervous, very excited, but I want first to say good morning to the members of the government, administration, elections, committee, and I am here to ask for your support for bill number 6652, section 1, subdivision 100, division 100, proclamation for May 13 to be every year Scleroderma pigmentosa Awareness Day in Connecticut. And I would like to ask you all a question. Can you imagine without being able to see and enjoy sunlight? Many people with Scleroderma pigmentosa cannot live a normal life of simply enjoying sunlight. So can you imagine anytime you have to go out to bundle up from head to toe because eventually the ultraviolet ray from the sun can kill you? This is the way I live my life and many other people around the world. I need this support from this committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Perez, for your testimony. Any questions or comments, Ms. Perez? Thank you for being here today, ma'am. I appreciate your advocacy. Thank you for your testimony this morning. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah. Oh.
Great job. Up next, Athan Tasoulas, followed by Gail Bloom.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
We can, yes, sir. Please continue.
Yeah, my first time with an advance directive was in 2005. I went to the hospital. I had a golf ball brain tumor removed. The doctors put the advance directive and the living will in my lap. And I had talked to my father in 2005 about a full DNR. My father agreed with me. What's the sense of being around if you can't rake the leaves and go to the beach? On October 14th, 2010, my father was admitted with very severe motor function brain hemorrhages. My brother at the time was POA and home health care provider. He told the doctors it was my father's wishes to be kept alive, and that was a lie. For 2,023 days, my father defecated in a diaper and he didn't move one muscle. And because he didn't have a voice, only 38% of all Americans have advance directives in this country. My Advance Directive Awareness Week month is to give people an awareness, the importance of having a voice when you can physically, mentally cannot speak anymore. This bill is very important. It's important, number one, to honor my father who didn't have a voice. And number two, in times of pandemics, only 38% of all Americans have advance directives. I am very passionate about this bill. More importantly, it gives people a chance who cannot speak or defend themselves to have something legally written so that if something happens, other people will know what their wishes are. My daughter, who's 30 years old, she knows that I have a full do not resuscitate. And if anything happens to me, she knows exactly what to do. I want to thank Kathleen McCarty for getting involved with this. I believe this bill would be approved, and I would like this to be a federal law so that all Americans are aware the importance of advance directives. I'm sorry, I'm a little emotional, but when you spend 5.5 years in a nursing home to see a father and the condition that he was in, it's tough. I also would like to thank Bayview Nursing Home in Waterford, Connecticut, for giving the love, affection, and respect to my father. Athena Healthcare has done a phenomenal job taking care of my father. And I am very grateful for Bayview Nursing Home and Athena Healthcare in Waterford, Connecticut. This is important, not only for myself, for everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your testimony and advocacy here this morning. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, thank you for being here today, sir. Appreciate your advocacy. Hope you have a nice day. Hope you have a nice day.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Up next, Gail Bloom, followed by Lisette Montalio. Ms. Bloom.
I'm here. Hi,
First up, I'm sorry, Lisette, give me 1 second. I think Gail Bloom was before you.
I'm sorry.
Gail Bloom, Ms. Bloom's going to go be first. You're next. Gail Bloom.
Hello. Hello, committee.
Good morning.
And are we all set to?
Yes, please continue.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to say first off to Representative McCarty a very, very sincere thank you. I'm so glad that she has met my friend. Fatima has been a friend of mine for many years. She became a friend of mine because she became a member of a support group that I and another friend established way back 20, oh goodness, I forget now how long it's been. But I have a support group for people who have light sensitivity. I also have light sensitivity. There are many people who have light sensitivity for many reasons, some because of an allergic reaction to something, some because of a genetic condition. I happen to have an autoimmune condition. Fatima happens to have XP. We had well over 1,000 members in our group at one point from all over the world. Fatima stood out of that group. She's an amazing person. Some people were just names, members, but she was a clear and distinct personality who had amazing energy and amazing enthusiasm. She asked me to volunteer on one project, and I'm still there. She has made me and other people aware of XP. XP is a condition that has different effects on different individuals. Everyone has a sensitivity to light, primarily the sunlight, also fluorescent lights, incandescent lights, computer lights can all cause sensitivity, which affects the entire system. Some people have neurological damage, other people have skin, some like Fatima have had problems with her eyes. She's totally blind now because of XP and the treatment for XP. We have found in our organization that many people are unaware of XP. No surprise. I'm sure most people who are listening have never heard of XP. You only hear of XP in Connecticut if you know Fatima. And what we have found is that a lot of experts, professionals in healthcare also are not aware of XP, the diagnosis of XP, or the treatment of XP. Our work has brought information to people in remote villages as well as urban areas, so they become aware of how to stay safe with this condition.
Your 3 minutes is now over.
We've been able to send all sorts of protective equipment and information around the world, as well as throughout the United States. I encourage support of this bill to continue to raise awareness of XP. And I thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bloom, for your testimony. Any questions, comments for Ms. Bloom? See none, thank you for your advocacy this morning. Hope you have a nice day. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Up next, Lisette Montalio, followed by Jacqueline Patinode. Ms. Montalio,
Yes.
please begin.
Thank you very much. To the members of the Government Administration and Election Committee, We urge you to please support the bill number 6652, Section 1, Subdivision 100, a proposal to establish the XP Awareness Day in Connecticut. My participation in this nonprofit organization, XP Grupo Luz de Esperanza, has been a wonderful experience just because of the enthusiasm of its founder, Fatima Perez, president of the organization, to which I am the vice president. As such, I understand the lack of knowledge that the world has about the existence of this painful disease that has sequels of cancer and blindness, in addition to other consequences, not to mention the problem that due to the ignorance, people make fun of those who suffer from XP, who cannot enjoy nature and other beauties because they cannot be exposed to the ultraviolet solar rays. As an educator for 25 years in the New York Department, the City Department of Education, seconded by Fatima, I came with the idea of holding the first annual virtual awareness seminar of Sclerodermia pigmentosum, which was a first kind of the international speaking Spanish world and other cultural communities to help people to understand this strange skin disease. This seminar was presented from the 4th to the 13th in September 2020. The first time we have a presentation first from Fatima Perez, who spoke about the foundation, the creation, and the purpose of what is this foundation and how to become ambassador of goodwill anywhere in the world, and can help us to spread the awareness of what is this illness. On September the 5th, we have the master conference with Dr. Margarita Alvarez on Xerodermia pigmentosum, because it was important to know the causes and consequences of it and know how to identify and detect the disease of those who are combating it. And then we present the first testimony from Andres Giovanni Guzman Rivera, Colombian, father of Arturo Guzman, a 4-year-old boy affected with XP. After that, on Sunday, we have the conference with the registered nurse specialized in XP, leprosy, and skin cancer, Virginia Quesada, who told about the extreme care that must be taken with patients who suffer with
Your
XP,
3 minutes is now over.
such as asepsis rules and regulations to keep patients well and to keep them, in healthy condition. Then we have a testimony from Honduras, from Mirna Lopez, a 12-year-old mother of Fabiola Alexandra, and we talk about her life as a youngster and lifestyle that has to be having. After all this, we also have the keynote speaker from Mrs. Debbie Tamura, the registered nurse with the research study in Xerodermia pigmentosum from National Institute of Health, Besapta, MD at Maryland, who spoke about the 50-year of World Research Institute and the condition and creation on this special program for this condition, and also in blindness and skin cancer. And in that occasion, they informed the audience that the Institute can help all those affected by XP as long as they legally enter to this country, and they only have to call them from the port of entry, and then they will send a brigade to transport them to the Institute without any cost, and also treat them for the illness and make them aware of what to do. It is really painful for those who don't know what is this illness, this type, that we expecting a massive level of awareness in schools, churches, clubs, organizations, etc., and can help all the Americans and any other communities that understand their behavior have to be good before those individuals who did not choose to come into the world with this disease. On the Connecticut Day of XP Awareness, we could help people understand what life is like for a person who has XP. And I urge you to please support this Bill 6652, Section 1, Subdivision 100, a proposal to establish the XP Awareness Day in Connecticut, perhaps in the whole United States, and therefore in the world. We are scheduled to do the second seminar on May 13 to bring other explanation to the public to understand what is the XP, the Xerodermia pigmentosum illness, and how to help us in this situation. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your testimony, ma'am. Any questions or comments? Thank you for having, thank you for being here today, ma'am. Appreciate being here. Hope you have a nice day. Thank you. Up next, Jacqueline Petinode. I apologize if I mispronounced your last name. Jacqueline present. Number 7. Jacqueline, we can't hear you. We cannot hear you. We can't hear you either. We still can't hear you, ma'am. Wait, Skip, we'll come back to you in 1 minute. If we'll skip over the next witness, we'll return to you. Thank you. Up next, Clark Lambert. Clark Lambert. Mr. Lambert, if you're present, please turn on your camera and your microphone. Clark Lambert. Clark Lambert present.
Can you hear me now?
We can, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, I'm Dr. Clark Lambert. I specialize in treating patients with xeroderma pigmentosum. And at
Dr. Lambert, are you able to turn your camera on by chance?
I'm in front of it, but it's not working apparently. Start my video. Let's try that. I keep pressing buttons to say start the video.
There you go. We see you. Perfect.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, sir. I'm Dr. Clark Lambert. I'm retired now, but I've been specializing in treating xeroderma pigmentosum patients for 50 years, both at the NIH and not at the NIH. I would like to say several things about xeroderma pigmentosum, and that is that everybody can get this disease. We have Black people with this disease. We have Hispanic people with this disease. We have Native American or indigenous people, Native Americans with this disease. They have an institute in Italy for treating this disease because it is common enough there that it warrants having a national institute there just to focus on this one disease. So everyone is susceptible, and it is a devastating disease. It's important to diagnose them early if possible, in part because we do now have ways of ameliorating the course of the disease that we didn't have a few years ago. In some patients, we can prevent them from getting skin cancer almost entirely, so that only a few visits to dermatologists to take off the few cancers that don't get treated by our system, and there's several such systems, survive. So there's several reasons to have an XP Awareness Day, and one of which is that we can do a lot for people who have the disease that we couldn't do when Fatima came along and just had to put up with having thousands of cancers. These patients can get very few cancers, but you have to diagnose early and you have to start treating before the cancers begin to show up. So it's really important that we have an XP Awareness Day. And I would speak very much in favor of this legislation to recognize that day. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lambert, for your testimony. Question, comments for Dr. Lambert? Sina, thank you for being here today, sir. Appreciate your advocacy. Thank you for your time.
Sure.
Next, we'll move back to Jacqueline Patenaude.
Can you hear me now?
We can, yes, we can. Yeah, perfect.
Okay, awesome. Hello, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. My name is Jackie Patenaude, and I am one of the 4 autism advocates through Autism Speaks Advocacy Ambassadors for the state of Connecticut. I have been doing it for almost 5 years, and I have been assigned to Congressman Courtney. I also individually just took on the states of Rhode Island and Vermont. The reason for my doing this is our daughter Olivia, who is 10 years old now, was diagnosed with autism at the age of 3. With 1 in 54 children being diagnosed now, the numbers are on the rise. And countrywide, we have 5.5 million autistic 18 and over. I am requesting a proclamation for HB 6652 to have World Autism Day be proclamated for April 2nd, or if we could have World Autism Month for the entire month of April. Thank you for your support and consideration.
Thank you, ma'am, for your advocacy today. Also for your patience with our system as we get as well used to the Zoom process. Thank you for that. Any question or comments? Seeing none, thank you for being here today. Appreciate your advocacy. I hope you have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you. You as well.
Olivia Ringcase. I don't believe she's with us. Is Olivia here? Olivia Rings. Olivia. I don't believe she's with us at the moment. So without Olivia, she was going to be our last witness today. I think unless anyone else present testify, we'll close this public hearing. Thank you all for being here today. We'll have our committee meeting will begin at 1 p.m. Thank you very much. See you all soon. Thank you.